so as you're looking towards potentially a new career, what are the metrics that you're evaluating on? Like, what are you looking for?
Okay. So the number one problem on my previous job was I was in sales, but it was more like customer service, not sales. And you can work as hard as you want. You can be the best in the team. You can be the best in a company, but you're gonna get the same paycheck like someone who is doing nothing. I don't think that's fair to someone who is willing to grow, grind, and be the best and has ambitions. If you are in sales, you have to be judged by your results.
So you wanted to be paid what you felt you were worth.
Exactly.
Okay.
So my goal was to, if I want to make more money, I will make more money. So I work more, I make more. Was my point. And on a previous job, I used to get a little bonus, but the guys who do nothing next to me was getting the same bonus, which I felt is unfair when you are the best in the team.
Let me ask you a little bit of a sensitive question. We'll get into specifics. So you come to LGFG and you're like, okay, I want to be paid for my performance. Like, you know that you're going to do your damn best to be the best. Like, you're going to work your ass off. You're going to try the hardest you can try to get the most you can get, right? And you come to LGFG and we make a promise back. Because you're here, there had to be a promise back. Like, even if it's an implied promise, it's like, hey, yeah, you can do that here. Okay? And has that promise been kept?
100%.
Okay.
So I remember my interview with Dimitry. It was 2.5, almost 3 years ago. 2.5 at least. And I remember, so usually when I started working on a cruise ships, I got 2 interviews. I got 2 interviews to get a job, an international company. And then I got 1 interview with the recruiter. Then I got 1 interview with Jason, who's the president of the company. I got an interview with Dimitry, and I got 1 more interview. And what surprised me is the qualities and the attention that you get from the top management when they interview you. It means that's like, whoa, 4 interviews, this job should be pretty fun. And then I remember one thing. Dimitri asked me how much I was making on the cruise ships. I was averaging like 3,000-4,000 euros a month. And I said this was my paycheck. And he said, if you keep listening, if you keep learning what we teach, in a year you're gonna make 3-4 times more. I couldn't believe, but as long as I will go back at least within the next 6 months to a year to back what I was getting, and then I have a path to grow, I would be okay. But actually, I put all the effort and it went the way Dimi described.
So that's obviously a testament to you working really hard. But the first 6 months, let's just focus on that. And I think I told you, I was like, hey man, the first 6 months are going to be really, really hard. And you're just going to have to rebuild some skills that you maybe haven't had a chance to build yet, So what about those first 6 months? And I'm sure that there were times that you lost hope in those first 6 months that it was possible. Obviously, looking at it now, it's silly because you know how good it can get and it gets even better from here. But as you look at your first 6 months, how did you overcome some of those challenges? And talk about your first 6 months. They were damn hard, man.
Whew. So we are selling clothing, right? And
I hope.
We are selling clothing, and I started selling clothing when nobody were going out of their houses and apartments. So it was the worst time I think in the history that to sell a business clothing. It was the beginning of COVID pandemic, and nobody was going to the office. Nobody wore business clothing. And I was on the phone crying all day from the morning to the evening, just doing cold calls and seeing no, don't call me anymore for like 100 times a day. Then it's basically, I gave a promise to myself that I saw some guys who were pretty successful in the company, and I know that's like, I'm not worse than any of those guys. And if they got there, why not me? And basically in about, I was a few months, I think first 4 months, I was just cold calling in the office. Maybe every second week I was thinking to quit. But then I give a promise for myself. I asked someone who is experienced how long it takes to start getting results, good results I want. And the person answered that in order to start being successful and get things you want, it will take a year. And then I gave a promise to myself, I'm not gonna quit. I remember sitting with you in Dubai in taxi, and I
I
said,
remember that we were coming back from a client that was from Pakistan, and he gave me a book that his grandfather had written. I remember that. Yeah.
so we were sitting in taxi with Dimitry, and I discussed that with him, and I said, if by, it was already 6 months, 6 or 7 months me in a company, and I gave a promise to myself that by June, that's when I started, by June, if I don't start making at least the same money I was making on a cruise ship, I'm gonna quit. But before that, I'll put all the effort, all the proper attitude, all the actions in order to get the maximized results.
What did I say to that? I don't remember.
You say, yeah, cool, I understand. That's basically, Jimmy said, yeah, if you want to leave, you can leave, right? But I say, I'm not gonna leave. I will give myself a year. I will do my best I can, and I will judge on June 4th. And actually, that was when we were in taxi. It was, I think it was November or December. And then in January, I went to Stockholm, and I sold my first time 70K, which is like double of what I expected.
Yeah, it gave you
until the beginning of June. So and then I got enough confidence that I can do it, and I finished the year actually in the top 3 in the company. My first year with comparing with some guys who were like 5-6 years in the companies. So I think everything is possible as long as you're willing to suffer and cry a little bit for a few months.